Kia ora everyone, here from the Export Beer Garden Studios for the ACC. This is the Benchwarmers back for another week, and sadly, this Benchwarmers team, we haven't been eliminated from the NBA. We're back, and we're more annoying than the YouTube pop-up videos for manscaping your testicles. I'm Ben Boyce. Forget about the Christmas Day, the playoffs. They're here. It's the most wonderful time of the year. And joining me is a man who'd probably like to kick me like Draymond Green did to Sabonis Bonds yesterday. It's Joe Harrison.
Good to be here after our 1 week sabbatical.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. Thanks to Manai and Adam for holding the fort down. But it feels like it is the most wonderful time of the year for basketball right now.
We had a few days off after Easter, and as much as I love doing this podcast, it was great to be off when basketball's on because there's so much basketball. I went to the pub during the day and got some mates along who actually had work. I was like, come watch the basketball. I had to pick my mate up, and he was like, don't pick me up outside because and it felt like having an affair. He was like, just to go watch the Lakers game. My wife's like, why does this feel? What do you know about having an affair?
Yeah, how do you know what an affair feels like? It's weird.
Let's get into the starting five.
This is the starting five for the Benchwarmers.
Y'all ready for this? Well, let's rip into it. The top 8 teams from each division, they've been decided. They've had their play-in games, and at the time of this podcast, the time we were recording, at least one game has been played in each of the series going on in the playoffs. Obviously, the teams that qualified top have got home court advantage. It's home court advantage. I feel like that doesn't work when you have a barbecue or people over because you can't really kick them out. It's hard to kick them out, right? Or you can't go to bed.
Yeah, and you pretty much end up paying for more money to host these people as well and stuff. Yeah. And I know you'd hate that as well,
but it works well in the NBA. You have a flat situation. What happens when you've got home court advantage when people come over? Is it like, I've just got to go to bed? Because I imagine people are still, there's some cretins still there at bloody 7 o'clock the next morning.
It's horrible, yeah. People are there 7 p.m. the next night, and then it comes to Monday, and we're pretty much cleaning up.
Oh, so they go on Saturday all the way through to Sunday. They carry on, do they?
Sometimes we will be like, there'll be like half the flat will be away for the weekend. We'll come back and we have to clean up our friend's mess, which is it's probably a deeper issue to probably talk to about them in person.
Well,
but
that's why sometimes you don't want home court advantage. You do in the NBA. First time in history, all 4 California teams that made the playoffs: the Kings, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Warriors. You got a bit of Cali love? Yeah. Oh, we are excited about the playoffs. It's awesome that all 4 Cali teams. It's really been an amazing atmosphere. We're about as excited, I feel, at the moment with the playoffs as Stephen A. Smith talking about the Knicks. I mean, he is pumped. Have you heard him?
Yeah. It's just right here for you, Ben.
Jalen Brunson, one of the biggest steals in the history of free agency. Look at what the man has done, okay? I'm seeing Quickly and Grimes and Toppin. Oh, my God. Orange and blue skies, baby. Orange and blue skies. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something right now, all right? I will openly confess that I'm a little bit nervous because that dude, Donovan Mitchell, is that dude.
He's good, He's good, Stephen A. Smith. He's very entertaining. He's excited. I went to actually a Knicks game, just to digress, with G Lane. Many years ago.
When was that?
I went to, it was a long time ago. I actually saw a photo. I had a photo at home of me and G Lane outside Madison Square Garden doing a high five together.
Speaking of bloody cretins hanging around back in the day.
I just remember, I remember hanging out with G Lane. I don't remember too much about it, as most nights with G Lane from the ACC end up, but went along with our partners and a couple of other friends in New York at the time. Everyone was yelling booyah around us. Booyah! So we kept yelling out booyah as well. I don't know if we were cool enough to yell at booyah. And someone tried an MVP chant by themselves and they just faded. You've got to really commit to a chant, but if you go MVP, at some point you just trail off and you get like me, just not confident.
I feel like I've said it a few times on this podcast, but the only way that you can really get a chant going and not have any anxiousness about it is drinking, getting really drunk and doing it, and then and then people like the next day, that was embarrassing.
No, I don't remember it at all. Now let's get into the first games. So many good matchups in the first round. We'll rip through them and get your thoughts on it, Joel, and see if because there's going to be some good teams going home at the end of this first round. Let's start at the East. We've got the Bucks. They're taking on the Heat. You love the Heat.
Yep.
So the Heat. Well, the Heat came up the first game.
It was a really good game after having like an abysmal performance against.
They just scraped through in the play-in, right?
Yeah, like they were shocking against the Hawks. I was watching that game. They scored like 40 points in the first half, which was embarrassing, and then they played better in the other game to get through, which is great. And then they looked like they were a whole different team. Sadly, though, Tyler Hero is going to be out for pretty much the whole playoffs, I think it is, because he broke his hand.
Oh, no, he's one of their top players. When a hero comes along with the strength to carry on. But unfortunately, he's got a broken wrist, which sucks for Tyler Hero.
Yeah, and I think if Giannis hadn't have dipped out in this game, like it might have been a bit of a different situation. But yeah, the game is coming up tomorrow. And I remember you cast your mind back to the first ever Benchwarmers episode we did many, many months ago. You said that you think the Bucks are going to win.
Well, yeah, but I feel like it's down to, it's going to be down to fitness. Like, because Giannis obviously going out, he hurt his back in the first game. Led a lot of the Bucks fans to be saying "our Buck," basically, or words that rhyme with that. Because he was. So I feel like if they're fully fit, they can win. But Jimmy buckets, Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy Butler's
Bam as well.
Yeah, Bam in the dirt is gone. I mean, he's amazing. And then you've got Kevin Love, who turned back time like Cher in that video, and he was great off the bench as well. So I don't know. It's going to be a great matchup, as you say. Game 2 tomorrow. I'm expecting the Bucks come back, but
TAB, good punt, good punt, good punt, good punt.
I have something for this as well because we've actually already placed this bet without even going for you. Sorry, but
okay,
yeah, sorry,
that's fine. That's good.
We had to do it before the show. Producer Adam and I, and the Heat are paying $3.75. Bucks are paying $1.10 to bounce back and win tomorrow at home. But I was like, you know what? We don't need $10. I think $10 or I don't know. We want $375.
Oh, so we're back in the Heat tomorrow.
We're going the Heat to go 2-0 up, and hopefully Giannis doesn't play.
Oh, away too. The Heat away, but they got the first game. The Greek Freak. We'll find out if he's playing tomorrow. His back issues. Nothing seems to be broken. But,
sadly.
But it's but it doesn't seem too good for them at the moment. Speaking of things, Greek Souvlaki. You a fan of Souvlaki? Have you been to the Christchurch one?
I haven't done much time.
They've done Dimitri's and Souvlaki in Christchurch is great Greek food, amazing. But for some reason, I don't hit us up on the ACC if you know of another place that does amazing souvlaki around New Zealand, because no place like Dimitri's in Christchurch.
Is it just like it's
like a big wrap, a wrap sort of pita bread sort of wrap thing, but it's really like with lamb. Get yourself a double lamb. You get yourself some salads, some sauces in there, mate. It's amazing.
Oh, actually, there is one up in Ponsonby for Fatimas.
Oh yes, thinner sort of thing. This is a sort of thicker pita bread, but hey, it's they're good too. Which look like we're trying to get free food out of this.
You guys are listening.
Yeah, hook us up. All right, the next game, the Boston Celtics taking on the Atlanta Hawks. They are the next two teams in the playoffs. Celtics already won up. It looked kind of easy for them, I thought. Probably the Celtics and the Nuggets, I thought, looked like they had the easiest matchups so far, but it is only game 1. Celtics, lots of hustle. Marcus Smart, I thought, was pretty good. Although I thought it was a bit weird. There was a kid, she had a sort of marry me sign to Marcus. I was like, oh, that's cute, but it's also a bit weird that, it's not, I'm from Masterton, mate. Maybe that's fine there, but that's, it's a bit,
Maybe that's not the best look for Marcus.
Jaylen Brown looks cool. He's like Batman with the mask on, and he's playing amazing, isn't he?
I heard one of my friends, he's a massive Celtics fan, and apparently the way that the max contracts work, that if he gets in one of the all-star teams, the NBA all team, so out of 50, if he gets in the top 15 players in the NBA pretty much, he can get $100 million more in his contract.
Wow.
So it's like just this one selection just for this year as well, pretty much is relying on about $100 million, which is crazy.
Oof, it's almost my salary for the Benchwarmers, right? Yeah. So I'm going to say, we're thinking the Celtics are probably going to take that one out easy. You'd agree, right?
Yeah. Well, we're currently recording this at 11:40 Pacific NZ time at the moment as well, and I'm just looking at the score. Hawks are up 17-9 which is obviously very early days, but I reckon.
It is only game 1. We've got to keep saying 76ers, Brooklyn Nets, another game in the East. And the 76ers already 2-0 up. Harden, he's been on fire. I mean, they pretty much double-teamed Embiid in that first game. I was watching some of that, and that just left Harden wide open. I think he got like 7 threes. It was pretty incredible. Embiid had the need for Embiid had a great game in the second one. Maxi, your Maxi pad. Had a big game in the second game. 76ers look like they'll take it out, you'd say again, right?
Yeah, no, they're definitely looking very good in this situation. And like the Brooklyn Nets, they're a decent, respectable team as well. But yeah, the Philadelphia, the 76ers, they looked great yesterday. I did love to see Cam Johnson, it is. He did a great poster over Embiid.
Yeah.
And there's an awesome photo I saw of Embiid just getting completely facialed, which is is great. I love to see it as the number one fan club of the Embiid haters club.
Yeah, you're not a big fan of Embiid. I mean, he's awesome. You don't think he's great, but you just for some reason just irks you for some reason.
I've got a bad feeling that I have the need for Embiid to get injured badly, or the 76ers might do better than I'm hoping this year.
And the other one, of course, the other playoff match in the East is between the Cavs and the Knicks. And the Knicks, Stephen A. Smith will be very excited after the first game. The Knicks are 1-0 up, beating the Cavs at home. Brunson Burner. I mean, the Mavs must be sitting there going, why did we let him go?
Yeah.
For pretty much nothing.
I know. It's well, Stephen A. Smith said it before, one of the best free agent pickups in history. Like, he's a seriously good player.
It's like that girlfriend you're like, oh, you go on your fine, and then they end up better off. You're like, damn, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. And look at me. Anyway, that's a hypothetical situation. It hasn't happened to me, but that's what the Mavs are thinking right now. But it's going to be a great matchup. I mean, Donovan Mitchell's incredible. The Cavs, the Knicks, it could go either way, really.
I reckon like this is going to be the one that goes to game 6, 7, hopefully a game 7, I reckon.
Yeah.
And I would love to see the Knicks go through just because I'm kind of liking this like success story of how they're going this year.
Yeah, it's been awesome, eh?
Also the Cavs, like kind of similar. They probably have the team and potential to do quite well. So it's going to be great to see what happens there.
Let's whip across to the West. We got the Nuggets taking on the Timberwolves. It looked pretty easy in game one. Again, just game one. Jamal Murray, I thought was pretty awesome in that first game. My daughter was watching a little bit with me, and she was like, why are they named after McDonald's chicken nuggets? I was like, she thought the Nuggets were like that. I was like, well, yeah. I mean, that was desirable, great name, but I think it's more to do with the gold. But Denver, you'd say, being the top team in the West, that they'd take this one out?
Yeah, and like the Timberwolves, obviously last week they imploded, still just got through by beating the Thunder. And also Rudy Gobert, he's becoming one of the most hated players in the NBA at the moment. Like, he's already just been such a annoyance on defense. And then he elbowed SGA. One of my favourite players, gave him a black eye by elbowing him in the eye and punched his own teammate. What a dick.
Gorgeous Alexander,
the gorgeous all-star starter.
Yeah. We got the Grizzlies taking on my team, the Lakers. Ja, injured. Wild dunk. I mean, he's done so many wild dunks. He just flies on in there. He injured his wrist, and I'm pretty sure that's the one he uses to pay the strippers. Is that the same wrist?
Yeah. And hold the Glock as well. Don't forget that.
But the Grizzlies, they're still pretty good without him. I mean, he is amazing. He's incredible. But they're pretty good with or without him. He's a game time decision for game 2. But the Lakers, hey, getting it done. And for once, LeBron, my favorite player, he was probably like the 3rd or 4th best player out there for the Lakers. You know, Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Anthony Davis were all incredible in that first game.
It's really good to see that even like D'Lo, the Russell, all the guys that they've signed, Vanderbilt and stuff, all coming through. And it feels like, after their All-Star break, the Lakers made the good trades, and they're just really starting to become a team. And I don't know. I reckon the Lakers, they could pull a Smoky and they could do something.
I'm hoping so. I mean, you got the skinny white boy, Austin Reeves, yelling out, I'm him, in the middle, which is good for, I mean, white guys don't have normally a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
So I was good to see that as well. Tristan Thompson's on the bench for experience if they need to cheat on anyone. He's there as well. I'm worried though, as a fan, every time AD goes down, and he goes down 3 or 4 times a game, like he's playing well, I'm like, oh man, I'm just like, the season's over. Then he gets back up, and then you're like the other day, you're like, message me, you're like, 80's out.
Yeah.
He can't move his arm. I'm like, oh, season's over. Then he comes back on, and LeBron, like, I don't think he's 100% after his foot injury as well, but at this stage, he hasn't needed to be like LeBron of old, so hopefully he can get through that. And the Lakers, they had 0.3% chance of making the playoffs at the start of the year after going like 2-10 or something. And now they're in the playoffs. And you know, who knows? It's pretty wide open. But AD, that game, that was the game I watched in the pub when they just scraped through against the Timberwolves. They had that shot from Dennis Schroeder. Shout out to our German audience who love listening to the podcast.
Yes, big fans of the podcast.
And then AD just what LeBron said was a bit of a brain fart.
And he knocked it down. It's unfortunate that AD had a brain fart and messed his game winner up.
He hears you.
I messed his game winner up. I apologize. I definitely apologize.
He did. There was one thing you didn't need to do was foul when you're up by 3 with 1.4 seconds to go, but he did.
I think it was just instant karma for Schroeder and LeBron doing their ice in the vein celebrations.
Yeah.
Like, look, Come on, guys, it's the play-in tournament. It's
And
not even the
there's
playoffs.
there's still a little bit to go, right?
It was, and Mike Conley shooting those incredibly clutch free throws was great to watch.
3 in a row, you're right, from Conley. So I'm hoping the Lakers can take that one out. But as I say, the Grizzlies have been pretty incredible all year, even without Steven Adams, who's a huge loss for them. Even without Ja Morant, they're still an amazing team. Then we whip across to Sacramento Kings. Light the beam.
Wow.
2-0 up against the Golden State Warriors at home again. Warriors have been not good on the road this year, but 17 years they've snapped to their playoff drought. They've won the first 2 games. And things were tense yesterday. Draymond Green and Sabonis Bonds, kicked them.
Yeah, they're like double teaming in the first quarter. It's getting intense. Old Sabonis Bonds, who's been a detriment to one of the great trades of last year as well. So he got stood on the ribs. It was like it kind of looked like he was holding Draymond's foot, but just because of Draymond's past, I feel like he's a bit of a dirty dog as well. So I don't know. I'm excited to see. Obviously, Monk and Fox look so good at the moment.
Yeah, they
as well.
do. You're right. Steph Spicy Curry, first time he's down by by 2 games in a playoff series, which is pretty incredible. So will they come back? Do you see the Warriors coming back?
Yeah, well, look, the One New Zealand Warriors have done it many times this year as well.
Always have to somehow shoe in rugby league. Yes, the One New Zealand Warriors are doing great in the NRL rugby league.
Yeah, no, but I reckon they can. It's quite funny because when we were talking about it on the last episode, we were like, oh, who should we put money on to win the Western Conference? And you were like, Warriors. And now they're down 2.
Yeah,
so.
I just thought with all that experience.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, man, I don't know. We'll get to whether we blow things up in a minute for the Warriors. The final game across the playoffs, the Suns, Clippers, really good, really close first game, that one. Katie's first loss for the Suns in game 1. But he hasn't played that many games together. Russell Westbrook, now if 3 from 19 is what he shot, but he was great. I mean, apart from, he was Hustle Westbrook, wasn't he?
Westbrook, I reckon.
Yeah. I mean, we went from Russell to Hustle, man. It was relentless. So some amazing blocks, some amazing rebounds as well. And it was also not just Hustle Westbrook, but it was Muscle Westbrook as he came walking in. Did you see what he was wearing? His fit.
Listen, this is this Charles Barkley?
He's talking about him. So he had a shirt that was open. And geez, I wouldn't button up my shirt if I looked like this. He looked incredible.
Oh my! Whoa!
Oh, what?
That man is dangerous. Hey, Chris Paul.
What that woo, man?
Oh, man, I ain't never. I can't remember the last time I could take my shirt off in public.
He looked ripped though. He was huge.
Oh, like 8 abs going on as well. So it was awesome to see him with a lot of hustle. I think it's going to be a really good series. I can see the Suns coming back. Kawhi Leonard's awesome. I mean, you've got some great players there. Who's going to take that one out?
I don't know. Look, obviously the Suns are like almost a super team as well, so they will bounce back. But like the Clippers are looking good, and one of my flatmates of the day, this will get you excited. He was saying that the whole Twitter sphere, they're pretty much the California dreaming. Because they reckon it's going to be an LA Clippers versus LA Lakers Western Conference final. Because it can go that way as well. But
the Lakers never seem to something. They haven't beaten the Clippers for a long time. That's what worries me. So as a Lakers fan, I would like to see the Suns get through.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't know. It's going to be really close. Did you know that there's a crazy stat that goes on? There's a lot of crazy stats going around the NBA. Russell Westbrook, he's got 2 chances to get a ring this year.
Yes.
So Clippers and Lakers, they forget about that when they play enough games for a team, so the Lakers, if they did win, Russell Westbrook gets a ring.
He'll be California dreaming.
Yeah. Which is crazy. It's like if this podcast wins Podcast of the Year, we'd have to give it to Storm, who was at the start,
Yeah.
No, but not that we're ever going to win Podcast of the Year, but it's interesting. You kind of feel
cool.
like... But he's been a part of this, and he was a big part of starting the podcast. And I guess, Russell Westbrook as well was a ball part of the Lakers.
He was a big part of a lot of their failure for the whole part of the season as well. So
here we go.
But it's good to see he's going well.
Harrison, here we go. All right, the second point we'll get into this week and the starting 5. DeMar DeRozan, is this the best tactic ever? Now, obviously, the Bulls are no longer in the competition anymore, but they had DeRozan's young daughter, and she would just start screaming every time that the Raptors would make a free throw. I always struggle saying that. We'll get it right by the end of the season. And she'd just start screaming from the crowd, and it put them off.
When Raptors shoot, she's screaming.
Sounds like some sort of like something horrible's going on. You need to call a crime scene or something.
Blue
like
murder
that.
or something.
36 screams she did. There were the stats. They missed 18 free throws. There you go. I got it right. So it was 50%. She got them. She got them home at the moment. DeMar was asked after the game if she'd be at the next game in Miami. He said no. She had school, but she was kind of like their MVP in that game. And then United Airlines came out and they were like, we'll offer to pay her to fly for free to the next game. I'm like, well, DeMar DeRozan is on like $81 million for 3 years. I don't think it's a financial thing. I think he can afford a flight.
Yeah.
Like if he wanted his daughter to be there, he could as well. But I thought for the podcast, maybe I should get my daughter to see, and I was like, well, get her to maybe scream to put us off. So I went to her and I said, hey, can you record a scream to put us off for the podcast? And this is what happened. Okay, Sienna, can you scream to put us off while doing the podcast?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
But like, no offense, but like I don't think it needs like anything more to make it like worse.
What, the podcast?
I'm joking.
Oh, jeez. Okay, wow. You put me off mentally and also gave me a fright. So there you go. Some humbling stuff from my family there.
Poor Sienna, she's now been dragged into that. Her name's now been besmirched.
United Airlines are trying to fly us in the next podcast for us as well, but she's got schools to do. I want to play a wee thing with you, Joel Harrison, for number 3 in the starting 5. This is duct tape or blow it up. So we've got a sound effect of duct tape.
Yeah.
Or have we got blow it up?
It was a very slow bomb.
It is a slow cartoon bomb. So I want to know. I want to say some team names, and you tell me if over the off season, whether they need to put duct tape around it, make a few little changes, or whether they just need to blow it up and start again. Let's start with the Mavs. Ooh, you going duct tape, are you?
I think so
with Kyrie and Luka, okay.
I think they're just too talented. They have two great players, and they can definitely build something off that.
Stick together, are you saying? They got fined, of course, during the week, $750,000 for resting their players in that last thing. They did go all in on Kyrie. That's the thing I kind of wonder when you look at these teams. You look and you've got star players. It must be really hard to blow things up.
Yeah.
I mean, you got merchandise, jersey sales. People want a Luka jersey. People want a Kyrie jersey. Suddenly if you get rid of some of those players, as well as not making your team not quite as marketable and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, okay, let's go Pelicans. Zion missed 53 games this year. Brandon Ingram missed a lot. What are you going to do? Duct tape or light up? All right, duct
definitely,
tape again?
I think, when Zion was playing, they were coming first. Obviously, it was early doors, but they were playing great. And then, just watching some of those playing games, Brandon Ingram, he's an incredible player.
Yeah.
I reckon he's
and
awesome.
Zion is amazing if they can just get back out on the court.
CJ McCollum as well?
Yeah. All right, Portland. Time for Dame time to be set free. Are we blowing it up or... Oh, we're blowing it up.
Definitely,
yeah.
Like it's almost like a similar story to what Sean Johnson has with the Warriors, or sorry, bringing it back to them again. But because
how you somehow always seem to find some sort of Warriors analogy.
He knows
it's basketball.
He knows.
There's a whole other Mad Monday podcast of the ACC. Great podcast. Get involved in that.
He just knows how much it would mean to him winning, and doing well at Portland. But I just don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen at all. Although he is an amazing player,
it's hard again. That's take him away from that franchise.
Yeah.
He is amazing. I love Damon. He's again jersey sales, marketing. I don't know why I think so much about the marketing, but also he was such a great player. Hopefully he can build something around, but maybe not. And let's go one more. Golden State Warriors. If they don't advance, are you gonna sticky tape them together, or is it time to blow it up? Oh, blowing it up again.
Yeah.
End of a dynasty.
End of the dynasty. No, I'm sure this is probably going to last for a while just because they got they got
some good young players coming. Paul, Wiggins.
Yeah, which is good. But I don't know, maybe get Klay Thompson or Steph or someone to go and help out Dame. Help their old mate in the Western Conference out and start up a new sort of dynasty sort of thing.
All right. Okay, there it is. That sticky tape will blow it out. We'll do some more teams next week on this one. The next thing I wanted to throw at you, there was a stat released this week. I know how you like the stats of the top selling NBA jerseys of the year.
Yeah.
Now, I want to see if you can get the five, the top five. This is the most amount of sales of a player's jersey. See, I'm all about the marketing and jerseys. So let's go if you can get, don't know particular order. I'll just tell you if you got them in the top five. You only get 2 wrong guesses, all right?
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry, number 2. Yes, correct.
LeBron.
LeBron, number 1. You got the first and second.
KD.
KD, just dipped to number 6.
Giannis.
Giannis at number 4. Okay, yeah, Giannis at 4, which is surprising. Now number 3, let's go with Celtic.
Oh, yeah, Jason Tatum.
Yeah, number 3, that's to say. And number 5, I'll give you a clue, not even in the playoffs. Not in the playoffs, but obviously someone who's very, very popular.
Oh, you're really putting me in the spot here. My mind has gone blank. Oh, would it be like Luka?
Yeah, Luka. There you go. Luka Doncic. So LeBron James, Steph Curry, Jason Tatum, Giannis, and Luka. They're the top 5 NBA jersey sales across the year. Then it gets into Durant, Booker Batch, Morant, Lillard, and Irving as well. So you did pretty well on that for this week. And finally, NBA beef for our final, rounding out the starting 5. Draymond Green. He got into a lot of beef again. Didn't he? With Sabonis Bonds as well. Punched Jordan Poole at the start of the year. I mean, he's a great defender, Draymond Green, and he plays hard as well. But there was beef going on, not just that, but between Spencer Dinwiddie and Kyle Kuzma as well, where Spencer Dinwiddie had this to say about Kuzma. So 2 former teammates get going at each other. Spencer said he's not even the third best. Oh, so Spencer was like saying he's not even the third best star on the NBA team because, if you'd still be at the Lakers. Kuzma replies back, you'd be bounced around like a basketball. All that sort of stuff was going on, as you heard there. I was thinking, do we need to start beef with mates of ours across the road that do the other podcast, the great Straight Dribble basketball podcast?
Never heard of it.
Oh, mate, Andrew Mulligan, he was the MC at my wedding.
Oh, really?
Good mate of mine. Casey Frankel loves him. Tim Revise is very great. He does amazing stuff on Crowd Goes Wild. It's a great podcast.
They're very good, yes.
But do we just say something? Do we say, Andrew Mulligan, you're not even the third best on Crowd Goes Wild? Should we say that? And that's our beef. We put it out there. We'll see if it gets back to him.
Yeah, well, who's the top 2?
Well, he would be probably up the top. But we're going to say now, let's say Storm Purvis.
What about saying he's the...
Tom Provise as well. Anna as well. Yeah, she's great.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, or you could say he's the third best on
great.
Morning Rumble.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Andrew Mulligan, he's the third best on the Morning Rumble.
Yeah.
That's our beef. We put it out there. That's the quote.
Oh, actually, he's the 4th. I prefer,
Yeah, he's probably,
Because obviously, it goes,
Okay, yeah, I was just trying to link it into the Spencer Dinwiddie thing, but you're right. Actually, let's go. Andrew, okay, we got this. This is our beef. Andrew Mulligan, if you're listening, this is from us. You're the 4th best on the Morning Rumble.
Yeah, and you're the 2nd best basketball podcast in New Zealand.
No, I don't know. You probably got the best one of that. But that's Joel Harrison there. But that's why I'll stand behind the 4th best on the Morning Rumble.
He's probably like, I didn't even know who you are, mate.
He's like, what wedding did I MC?
He's like, no, he's like,
that one.
I'll take it from Ben Boyce. But who's this young? Who even let this guy get a microphone?
Let's head to the stat bunker quickly. I know you love your stats, so I'll roll through a couple for you right now. This week, Jordans, the highest amount ever for a pair of Jordans, $2.2 million for the ones he wore in the final series. That's incredible, eh?
Yeah, that is crazy. Have you had that amount of money? Would you buy one?
Probably not.
Yeah, what are you gonna, just like what? Yeah,
but. I'll tell you a wee story. All I wanted as a kid was Jordans, and my mum went to the States, and I was like, just bring me back a pair of Jordans. That's all I want. I'd love that. And she came back with a box, and I was like, oh my God, this is it. And she opened it. It was a pair of British Knights basketball shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I hadn't heard of British Knights before, and I don't know if you've heard of British Knights before. I'm sure they're a great brand, but when all you want is Jordans.
Yeah.
And she said the guy in the store told her these were better than Jordans.
She's been played.
I know, and I was like, Mum, you have been played.
Oh yeah, no, they're cool. You should rock them to the next podcast.
So I don't know if I've still got the British Knights as well, but yeah. LeBron is about to play. He's playing his 23rd different team in the playoffs, which is pretty impressive right now. He's just been a machine for 20 years. And the Seattle SuperSonics, here's a stat for you, have won a playoff series more recently than the Kings, the Timberwolves, and the Hornets.
And they went under in like 2007 or something?
So that just shows as well. All right, fantasy, are we even looking at the fantasy anymore?
It's done. We didn't win.
Where did we get in the end? Do you know?
No, I didn't. I don't. We'll have to. We'll tell you next week for everyone who's listening.
I feel like you said that last week, but that's fine.
Or I keep forgetting. We'll cut it. No, we'll cut that one.
And finally, before we go,
It's the big alley. Ooh, it's not the one, It's not the one.
now far be it from me to push LeBron James propaganda, because I do love LeBron James. But he was asked a question before playing the Grizzlies, and I thought this was pretty incredible. It's not so much a blooper, but just shows how his mind works. Now, he just come off a game against the Timberwolves, and they were like, have you thought about the Grizzlies, who's you going to be playing? And boy, just off the top of his head, have a listen.
I'll probably run through this audio because he starts off like this.
Very well coached, very well balanced. Obviously, the head of Knicks is John Morant. But another all-star in Jaren Jackson, who was up there, one of the defensive player of the year. His ability to block shots, but offensively, he's very dynamic as well. Tyus Jones, the point guard off the bench, has led the league. And
then he goes through for about a minute more. He just keeps talking about all the players.
Goes through the plays, what the percentage of the plays, their stats.
Breaking it down. Yeah, I don't even know how he knows all this stuff. And here's the last 10 seconds.
Can't disrespect because they will make you pay. Obviously, I haven't thought about Memphis one minute.
Pretty incredible, like a pretty amazing IQ from the guy who just. I saw him during the week trying to look at the playbook of the coaches off the bench as well, just to try. And then they were like, basically the Grizzlies coaches were trying to stand in the way so he couldn't see their playbook, and he was like, "It's okay, I'll figure it out."
He's that guy.
He's that guy.
Also, another one that I saw this week that you put in there as well. That we've been talking about Charles Barkley a lot this year.
We love him. We love what they do on that show. Him, Kenny, and Shaq, and that they're great.
And I think this was this was great. What was he talking about?
The bars of soap. Talking about big bars of soap and when it comes to showering.
Because I almost had a couple accidents with the soap at hotels.
In what way?
Well, when I was washing a part of my body, I almost had a little incident.
What the heck are you talking about?
I almost had a little incident with those little bars of soap.
Almost lose it?
I almost lost it.
He's obviously intently washing himself as well, isn't he? Really getting it there. But there we go. I think we'll leave it on that one. There's a lot we could, but anyway, we'll just move on. Enjoy the playoffs. As I said before, it's like Christmas if you're a basketball fan. It is the most wonderful time of the year, and we'll be back again next week, breaking it all down once again and talking a whole lot of other rubbish. We'll catch you next week on the Benchwarmers,
and hopefully we're $375 richer.